The sun right now is so nice. My kitchen is so hot. So making the things that I had planned for today doesn't sound that great right now because I'm going to have my oven on and I'm going to be making soup. But it's going to cool down later. And I do want to get through those vegetables and I have a plan for them. So we're going to stick with it. And we do love soup. We even eat soup in the summer. So it's going to be fine. Come on, let's get cooking.
Hi, welcome to my kitchen. I'm Yasmin and today I'm bringing you along with me to get through some vegetables that I have in the fridge that I really need to use up. So I'll show you what I'm going to make with them. I've been getting these food subscription boxes for a couple of weeks now called Odd Bunch. I'll link them below if you are in Toronto, Ontario. I'm not actually sure how far they deliver, but it's been great so far. It's been very convenient. The price is great, and I'm loving the fact that you actually don't get to choose the vegetables and fruits you're gonna get. It's completely random. That is why it's affordable, and the quality of everything has been great. But it's been challenging me to be creative, even more creative, because I love cooking, but it's challenging me to just make things that I might necessarily not be thinking about making. For example, the last week I got 3 zucchinis, and we like zucchini, but I don't know why, I just haven't been buying zucchinis. Sometimes I feel like I just end up buying the same things over and over again. So I'm gonna have to get creative with them. So one of the things I'm gonna be making is a double chocolate zucchini bread, which I've always wanted to try making and I've never made it. So that's one of the things. And the other thing is I'm gonna be making a fresh zucchini salad with it raw, like thinly sliced, with a nice fresh vinaigrette and some pumpkin seeds and Parmesan. It's so good. And again, love that salad. It's been forever since I've made it. So happy to make those. And I've got some sourdough here that I made last night, left it out for a few hours, kept it in the fridge overnight, then took it out today to finish the rising. So I split the dough in half. To this one, I added extra olive oil, and now I'm going to add some more, and I'm going to add some rosemary that came in the box that needs to be used up. I'm going to make a little focaccia to go along with the soup, and then the other loaf I'm just going to bake and we'll have it for breakfast. Throughout the week, I've got my focaccia here. I'm going to dice up some garlic for the focaccia. I've actually just completely made up this focaccia recipe. It's just my regular loaf recipe that I just split in half and added extra olive oil. So we'll see how it turns out. I mean, I know it will be delicious, but it might not resemble focaccia. We'll see. So I'm just slicing a little bit of garlic that I'm just gonna stick into this bread, add a little bit of extra flavor. And I got some rosemary that also came in the box that I really want to use up. Oh, it smells so good. I love rosemary. It's been a while since I've bought any. So this was also a nice surprise in the box from last week. And I'm trying to use up everything the next few days that's still remaining before the new stuff comes, because we've been getting the large one and it's almost too much, but it's not, and it should be fine. But because of Easter, we ended up having people over and we had so many leftovers that people brought, so I didn't cook as much as I usually do. Okay, I've also got some sea salt. We're gonna just add some olive oil, nice amount. Then I'm just gonna spread it and then just make some holes. Beautiful. I'm just gonna stick this garlic in the little holes that I've made. Just stick them anywhere randomly. And then just gonna sprinkle beautiful rosemary. I'm gonna sprinkle a little bit of sea salt. There is already salt in the dough, so it doesn't need tons, but a little bit on top is really nice. Reminds me of like a pretzel. All right, beautiful. It's ready for the oven. Okay, for my other one, I'm just gonna score it. I'm just gonna sprinkle a little bit of flour before I score it. So this one is also ready for the oven. Now I'm gonna move on to making my butternut squash soup. So this came in the box. These potatoes came in the box, not the garlic and onion. It's very simple soup. So I'm just gonna dice up the squash, the potatoes, the onion, the garlic, toss it all into my Dutch oven. Some water, maybe a little bit of chicken broth, some seasoning, let it all boil, and then I'm gonna blend it in my Vitamix. And we're gonna have that tonight with our focaccia and that fresh zucchini salad. And it's just the kind of meal that's delicious. I've had all of these components before, but I wouldn't have necessarily thought about making it in this combination if it wasn't for the random things that I've been getting in the box. So it's been fun. Like yesterday's dinner was the kale salad, because we got a bunch of kale in the last box, another butternut squash, and I had some leftover cranberry goat cheese from Easter and a big bag of walnuts from Costco that I don't know why I got it and I just wasn't really using it. And lately I've been getting all these recipes like carrot muffins and all these things that ask for walnuts, so it's been great getting to use these things that I already had as well and just having fun trying different things. There's a fresh artichoke heart that came, which I haven't used yet, and I've never actually cooked with that. Of all the things that came, that is the only thing that I've never actually cooked with. I've cooked with marinated artichoke, but not the kind, like not the fresh kind, the whole thing. So I looked up some recipes and I want to try that as well this week. So that's also something fun, because it's not only making me have to be creative, but it's also allowing me to potentially try some things that I've never cooked with before. So I've been liking that as well. I'm going to dice these into little cubes so that they don't take too long to cook, because it's so hot in here. Alternatively, you can roast all of your vegetables and then blend them, but this is how my mom usually does it, so I'm just gonna do her recipe today. Okay, so I got all my squash diced up. I'm just gonna add it to my Dutch oven to free a little bit of space. Before I start dicing my potatoes, I'm gonna check on my focaccia because I can really smell it and I hope it's not burning. So let's take a little look and see. It's looking pretty good. Just lowered the temperature a little bit because I have it really high because of the loaf that's in the Dutch oven, but because that one is uncovered, it's getting a little too brown. So lowered it to 400 now, and hopefully that'll be enough to keep it from getting too dark while it finishes baking for another 5 minutes. So I got my onions and garlic. I'm adding that to my pot for the soup. Okay, I'm just adding some seasoning. I'm just gonna cover this up, let it boil till everything is soft, and then I'll blend it, and I can always adjust the seasoning afterwards as well. I just took my loaf out of the oven and I'm so proud of how it turned out. It's so pretty. I'm gonna let it cool. I'm gonna put it on a cooling rack. Look at this. So pretty. Still a little bit hot. This is how the focaccia turned out. Nice and airy and soft inside. So I think it will be delicious. And now that my oven is free, but still hot, I'm gonna get started on my double chocolate zucchini bread. So I got a recipe off the internet, which I will share below, but I did have to tweak some things. I didn't have the full amount of white sugar, so I did half brown sugar. I also decided to do flax eggs instead of regular eggs, because that's another thing that I had in my fridge and I hardly ever use it. So I made these delicious carrot muffin recipes the other day, and the recipe called for the flaxseed eggs, and it worked so well. And I love when I can make recipes plant-based, so that was a good way to use that up. And flax is great for you, so I am trying that in here as well. And another thing I switched was, instead of Greek yogurt or sour cream, I put in some applesauce, because the carrot muffins I made also used applesauce. So hoping it works out. I mean, there's so much chocolate in it that I feel like it's gonna work out. And it asks for semi-sweet chocolate chips, but I'm gonna be using some dark chocolate that I'm just gonna dice up. Okay, now I'm gonna dice up my chocolate. Since I'm not using chocolate chips, I'm just using some dark chocolate. So the recipe says to add the chocolate to the dry ingredients. It's probably to keep them from sinking to the bottom. Hey, no barking! Sorry about that. It's probably to keep them from sinking to the bottom. I can smell the soup. It smells so good. The whole house smells delicious because of the rosemary from the focaccia, the fresh bread, now the soup, and soon we're gonna start smelling some chocolate. Now I'm gonna add my zucchini. And all my dry ingredients. So chocolatey. Alright, into the oven it goes. While the zucchini bread is baking, I'm just gonna get started on my fresh zucchini salad. Alright, so I'm gonna use this thing here, which I forgot what it's called, on the thinnest setting, and just do really thin little slices. Adding it to this pretty bowl because it's a pretty salad to really spread out so you can see all of the components to it. So I added the pumpkin seeds, some freshly chopped parsley. I'm gonna grate some Parmesan cheese. Parmesan makes it so tasty. I think the salad is actually going to be such a perfect combination to go alongside the soup. Okay, and I'm going to do some bigger pieces with the grater, not the grater, the vegetable peeler. Just makes it really pretty. So I made my dressing. I will post the recipe I used below, but I did do a few changes. I pretty much doubled the mustard. I added a little drizzle of maple syrup, extra lemon juice, and a little bit of water because I like it a little bit thinner. But it's a really yummy dressing. So I'm just gonna generously coat the salad. And as it sits, it almost marinates and kind of like cooks the zucchini. So I like to do this part about 30 minutes before we're gonna eat, but it's fine to do it right away when you're gonna eat as well. It's fine. If you are serving it to guests, at this point I would add a little bit more Parmesan cheese, a few more pumpkin seeds, just to garnish it and make it super pretty. In the end, I ended up using my immersion blender to blend the soup instead of putting it in the Vitamix. So I just blended it till it was mostly smooth. Adjusted the seasoning and added a little bit more water just to thin it out a little bit. And this is how the focaccia turned out. It was nice and airy and soft and had those big bubbles in it. So I'm happy with how this made up recipe turned out in the end. I ended up inviting my mom and her friend over for dinner last minute because they are our neighbors. They live right by us. This is how the double chocolate zucchini bread turned out when it came out of the oven. It was nice and soft and the house smelled so good. Everyone really enjoyed the dinner. Everything complemented the components so well. The zucchini salad was so fresh and such a nice addition, and everybody devoured the bread. We ended up having the double chocolate zucchini bread for dessert, and it was super decadent, almost like a brownie. I'll definitely be making this recipe again. If you watched till the end, thank you so much for sticking around, and I hope to see you next time.